And he's like, madam, I can't collect this money. I said, I pretended like I didn't know that I gave you bad money. Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm so excited to be back. Like, I've missed saying that. Why does life just happen? And then remember the time when I was yapping about I'm gonna be consistent this year. 2022. First of all, happy new year. Okay, 2022 is here. I'm super excited because I know that this year consistency is going to be my middle name. I've been away for the longest time, and yeah, I know how I cried like a baby when I was begging you to subscribe. But guy, come, were you on the dearest when I asked you for your subscription? Huh? Okay, just kidding. But yeah, regrettably, I wasn't consistent. I thought I was gonna be. I saved up and I bought a new camera, and I thought, oh, this will actually push me to record and put out content every other week. But guess who didn't do that? Yeah. But I don't want to ramble on about why I haven't been posting consistently, because how many times have you said you're going to do something and you didn't do it? Exactly. Judge Judy, mind your business. Just kidding. Just kidding. Okay, so basically today I wanted to tell you guys about a testimony actually. And I know that I'm not always very, I don't know if I'm not actually, but I've never just really been vocal about my faith on my channel. I'm Christian. I believe in God, Jesus Christ. And yeah, so this is something that happened to me, I think 2019. I think I wanted to just share that with you. So I hope you stick around to the end and pick one or two lessons. In the meantime, subscribe, like, and share, and leave a comment. Do everything, okay? Yeah, thank you. Today I was reading my devotional, and it was talking about how God will always help us to lift our burdens day by day, and I think it's a verse in the Psalms. But yeah, so while I was reading that, like doing my devotional, I thought, I've been procrastinating for the longest time to share this testimony, because I don't think I ever really shared it like publicly with people, because usually, like, if I can't share something in church, I'll probably just talk about it on my Instagram, and that's like, call it a day. I've shared the testimony. But anyway, well, let's go back to 2018 actually. So I get a job, and weirdly enough, like, it's 2018, we're literally like deep in the 2000s at this point, and this job decided that they're going to be paying my salary with a check in this digital age, which I thought was weird, because I had to go cash the check, then deposit into my own bank account. But you know, there's always a reason for everything. Breaking transmission. Anyway, there's always a reason for everything and anything that happens, and month after month I'm cashing my checks, I'm putting the money in my bank account. So this particular month I'd gone to the bank where the check was issued, and it was Zenith Bank, and then when it was time to go and put it in my own account, I didn't want to go into the banking hall, so I was like, I'm just going to use the ATM outside and put my money through the machine, right? Because you can do that. So, but the problem is the machine only accepts like certain types of notes, so it has to be straight, it has to be crisp, you know, basically clean and insertable. So I'm trying, you know, a few notes are actually like really raggedy, and they just looked very nasty, and the machine was saying no. You know, after I do it, another one, thank you, another one, thank you. So anyway, I was like, okay, you know what? It's just a little bit of money that's left. I will just hold on to it and use it as my, you know, running around cash. But there was one of the notes that got really bad and got ripped, like literally tore in the middle. It was a 1,000 naira note. So I'm just giving you guys backstory, because now, fast forward to 2019, I quit this job and I get a new job. And at first, things are, good enough. And then we got to a point where things were not good enough. Essentially, my salary started to be delayed, or I got paid in halves, and obviously it was really stressful for me. Another thing that made that situation like 10 times more stressful was that I had to move out of my parents' house and I was living on my own. And so obviously I had to fend for myself, like food that I had to eat, and basic stuff that I needed I had to buy by myself, because obviously that now I'm a working class woman. I can't be asking mommy and daddy for money anymore. Well, I can, but I've just never been that child anyway, or that person in general to ask people for stuff. Get into it. So tell me why it was one of these months where my salary had been delayed, and I realized that this is the last money I have in life that's withdrawable. So I'm like, well, I'm gonna go home. But then I remember that in 2018 I had this note that was ripped into two that I kept in one of my bags that was in my house. So I was like, okay, when I get home, I'll fix that note, and that's what I'm going to use to come back to work tomorrow. And there's this thing about toxic situations. You see, this is why sometimes I understand why people in toxic environments might stay there longer than they should, because I was breaking my back, bending over backwards to come back to an office that hadn't paid me for a month or so. I don't even remember what the duration was at this point for me not to have she, because trust me when I say I'm frugal, knowing also the inconsistency of my salaries and everything, I wasn't spending like an idiot, I would tell you that. So obviously years later, I'm like, why was I even trying to go back? I should have, if at all I wanted to use that last 1,000 for anything, I should have taken that 1,000. I used it to go back to my father's house and sat my ass down until they paid me before I come back to that office. But there's something about toxicity. Anyway, let's get into it. So 2018 also was a very significant year for me, because that was the year that I decided as a grown functioning adult that I was going to rededicate my life to Christ, because I was born into a Christian family. So I've always, gone to church, the whole shebang. But obviously at some point you have to sort of choose your relationship, or choose to pursue a relationship with God by yourself. So this is what I did. So when I got home that day, I was like, oh, I should have tape somewhere. I didn't have tape. Asked my neighbors, they didn't have tape. I also didn't have money to buy tape, obviously. So I found, however, duct tape. That's the black kind of tape. And in Nigeria, where money is torn, you have to use clear tape, so it makes it the least bit acceptable. So anyway, I used the duct tape and strategically placed it behind the note. So the front of the note looks normal, right? Patched perfectly, patched to perfection. And then the back, you just see a black line. Fiam! Hi! I was like, hey, I hope these bus drivers will not disgrace me. But I was like, you know what? I'm going to give so where my house was, I had to get a bike from my house to the estate gate where I'll get a bus at the bus stop. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna give the bike man or the Okada man the 1,000 naira note so that I can get change, because it's less embarrassing when you're talking to one person and they're not accepting the money you're giving them. At least it's just you and him, between you and I. That's like seeing him in camera. But in the bus, there's 15, 16, 20 of us, and the bus conductor is like, if they shout at you, it's like the floor should just open and swallow you. So anyway, I was like, this is my strategy. Next morning, I wake up, dress up for work, and I kid you guys not, I take this note and I stretch it to the heavens. I'm so dramatic sometimes. Anyway, I stretch to the heavens and I say a prayer before, and I'm like, God, you know that in heaven and on earth, this is all I have. And just a quick side note, like, it's not like I don't have people that would have helped me if I asked. I've just never been, like I said earlier, like, I just don't want to inconvenience anyone. I'd rather like struggle on my own, which is not always a good thing, by the way. So I like say this prayer and I'm like, God, just get me to work. Like, I just want to get to work today, because another part of my strategy was to get to work, to go and complain bitterly to HR and like management, because I'm like, what the hell is this? This is one of the questions I asked during my interview for this role, because I knew where I was coming from. The company I was coming from used to owe me as well, or like delay our salaries. If you work in media in Nigeria, this is like not news to you, but if you don't, you probably don't know. But yeah, like, check on your friends in the media. So anyway, I was like, God, please just get me to work, right? So I'm going, get the first, part of my public transportation, which is the bike. The guy drops me off at the bus stop and I give him the 1,000 naira note and he's like, Madam, I can't collect this money. I said, I pretended like I didn't know that I gave him bad money. And then he was like, Madam, do you have another one? I said, I don't. I opened my bag. I was like, please. I was like, I'll give you 200 for the trip, because normally the trip is like 100 naira. And he said, nope, he's not going to take the money. And I'm literally begging him, like, please, like, I actually need change from this guy. Do you get what I mean? So I don't get this disgraced, embarrassed on the bus. But this man wasn't having it. Do you know what this man said? And if you know bike men in Lagos, they don't play with their money. This man said I should go. He was like, Auntie, don't worry. Like, and like, it was genuinely like no hard feelings. Like, it wasn't like he yelled or he was disrespectful. He was like, Madam, don't worry, go. I said, wow, I'm in trouble. Because the bus people would disgrace me today. But as I was walking away, something in my spirit, I started to panic, like, oh my God, like, they're going to embarrass me on the bus. And me, if you know me, I hate disgrace. Like, I just want to be on my own. Like, half the time, I don't even want to be noticed. You know what I mean? So I started to panic, and my spirit literally told me, well, you did say I should get you to work. You didn't say how you wanted me to get you to work. Like, literally, that's what I heard, like, in my mind. And I was like, well, true. That's what I said in my prayer this morning. So, yeah. So I was like, thank you, Jesus, for the first miracle. Like, let's see how this is gonna go, with the bus driver. Bus conductor, whatever. So I got on the bus. It's Lekki, so there's like crowds at every bus station. Like, you go from bus stop to bus stop, and it's like, crowds, people trying to get on the bus and everything. And then there's also traffic. It's a quiet morning as well. I think it was like a Thursday or so. It was just an easy morning in Lekki, apart from the traffic, of course. Like, when is the road ever free? So anyway, we're going, and this guy is like collecting his money, and then takes mine. And then, how I don't have cash, but you know how like these bus conductors collect money from you? They'll just be like, Auntie, what's this? Egba jare, egba, what's this? That's how it was. Like, he literally just started yelling. I did not even have 2 sentences to come out of my lips before this man pounced on me like I stole from him. Well, to be fair, I was about to rob him of his wages, sort of. But I was like trying to explain. I was like, they'll collect it from me at the toll gate. They'll collect it from me at the filling station, please. Like, and I carried a mini purse, like, because I actually don't really carry big bags. So anyway, I was carrying like a small bag. So I opened the bag and I literally show him what's inside my bag. Like, it's just my house keys. Like, I have nothing, to my name. Well, and a pen and a paper is what I had in there. So I was like, please, they'll collect it. He said, oh, boy, sheni, how much like key, something, boy, sheni, like, he was speaking Yoruba. I was saying, that's how they behave. That I'm just pretending I don't have money, but I do. That I should give him his money. He doesn't want problem this morning. He doesn't want issues this morning. And I just sat there quiet. Obviously everyone on the bus is looking at you like, but you're dressed like you have money though. And that's the problem. That's the problem with life. Sometimes you can look like you have, but you're actually suffering inside. And people just need to relax and realize that not all that glitters is gold. Because that day I was very much feeling like bronze. What's even less than bronze? I don't even know. But that's what I was feeling like that morning. Anyway, at this point, obviously, I'm panicking because I actually do not have any money. I don't know how I'm going to pay the guy. Tell me why we get to like 2 bus stops away from my house where the guy picked me up, which is like at this point now going to take me about, I would say 30 minutes to walk back home. And this guy, stops at the bus stop, and I think, because the bus was already full, and I'm thinking, oh, maybe someone wants to come down, but I did not hear Owa. That's how this guy told the person in front of me to come down, and then he just shouted at me. The whole bus stop was full, like people were trying to get to work. He just said, oh yeah, auntie, get down. Can you go? Yelling. I said, God, swallow me. Let the floor swallow me now. Hi. So he's yelling. Obviously, I have no choice. Before he would drag my two... No, I'm not going to say what I was going to say. But before he dragged me by my ears, I just had to respect myself and calm down. So I come off, and if you know me, I'm so emotional. Like, it doesn't take me 2 seconds to start crying. Sad times, honestly, sad times. So anyway, I come off, and then I go round to the front trying to talk to the bus driver, like, please don't take it from me at the toll gate, like use it to pay at the toll gate. The driver just looked at me, just carried his eye. That's how, at this point my voice is shaky. I'm like super embarrassed, obviously, because there's like 100 people at the bus stop, literally, like just staring at me and staring at this guy trying to replace me. It's like if you grow up in Lagos, like when like there's actually no bus and everyone's just waiting for the next free bus, or for someone to come off at a bus, and you see how people would just rush that one space. That was the type of situation that morning. And that's how this lady, by the entrance of the bus, like she was in the bus that I just came out of, she was sat by the door, and she was like, where are you going to and how much is your trip? And then I told her, and then she was like, yeah, come in, I'll pay for you. When I tell you, water works. Hey, I started shedding tears. I was crying. Like, I couldn't believe that this was what one company was putting me through. Obviously now it's all said and done. Like, obviously I've moved on and everything, but it's just really painful to relive moments like that where you went to work, like you showed up and someone is not paying you. If you can't afford to have people work for you, it's wicked. Remember I said I had a pen and a notepad in my little pouch, so I pull it out and then I write a note to the lady that helped me. But my tears were more so also from me acknowledging, like, God actually listens to me. He listened to my prayer, and like I literally said this prayer this morning, and I literally said, God, get me to work. And God said, you know what, sit back, relax. Like, you're not even going to spend your money. I will get you to work because that's what you asked me for. This might come with a little life lesson, but it's because I want you to appreciate what you didn't have so you can help others when they don't have. And sometimes I think the lesson that you should be taking away from here, I hope you took your pen and your jotter so you can take things away, is that sometimes our miracles might not come the way we expect them to come, or in the form that we might be anticipating it. God can use anything, anybody, anyhow. Like, it's just God, isn't it? Like, he does what he wants to do for his own glory. Do you get what I mean? So yeah, that's my quick little story time / testimony of when God answered my prayers, even if it came with a little bit of disgrace. But I do not regret that, because there was a lesson to be learned there, So yeah, when I go to work, I was inconsolable. Like I just kept on crying, and HR, you know, like people were around me, like, what's going on, you know, and I'm like, what do you mean what's going on? Like, what do you mean what's going on? Like, do you not see that I'm suffering? Hello, get into it. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching to the end of this video. I will see you again very, very, very soon. And truly, consistency will be my middle name. Like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to do that. Bye.